Hello and welcome. This is Yoga for Caregivers, and I am Rebecca Leary, and I welcome you. I encountered a new term today, polycrisis. Polycrisis. I had to look it up, and it's just what it seems, the confluence of many crises that causes a feeling of chaos. This sums up the experience of being alive in this moment in history, and of course, the life of every caregiver. Yoga philosophy says that yoga stops the worryings of the mind. Yoga helps us find a place of peace in our daily existence so that we can continue to not only survive, but to thrive. And we practice on the cushion so that we have the resources as humans, as individuals, and as caregivers, so that when we are confronted with chaos in our daily lives, we have something to draw from. So we practice. That's why we call this a practice, because we need to have that time, that caregiving for ourselves before we can turn around and be productive and helpful. Uh, so for today, let's go ahead and begin lying down. I'm going to go back and lie down, and then at a certain point, I may come back forward so that I can talk more easily. All right. So make your way onto your back. I'm going to come back here. And of course, if you prefer to stay in a chair, you can always do that, or you can lie down on your couch or in your bed, but just somewhere where you can, extend your spine, feel the ground beneath you, feel the sky, the world above you. Keep your knees bent, especially if you have any kind of low back pain. In yoga, the asanas, these poses that we do, are here to prepare our bodies for meditation. And so we'll do a little bit of movement, we'll do a little bit of grounding, and then we'll end with a longer meditation. So coming down onto your back, feeling your feet on the ground, feeling your hips, your shoulders, the back of your head, and the back of your arms, making contact with the ground beneath you. Feeling our connection to the earth helps us to feel a sense of place, a sense of rootedness, so that we know where we are in space, we know where we are in the present moment. And that helps us because all of life takes place in the present moment. The past is gone, the future is not here yet, and we can easily perseverate, get into that cycle of thinking that about what's happened or what's going to happen, that keeps us from really experiencing our lives and also being present for the people for whom we need for whom we need to be there for whom we need to be there. All right. So lying down still, begin to press into your feet and tilt your pelvis so that you smooth out the curve of your lower back, flattening the curve. And then rock your pelvis in the other direction, dropping your tailbone and creating that curve again. These are pelvic rocks. So I'm just rocking from the top of the pelvis down to the bottom of the pelvis, just getting a little bit of movement. This feels wonderful for me in my low back. It feels very supportive and like I'm making space. So take this several times. You can move with your breath as you exhale, press and flatten the curve of your back. As you inhale, drop your tailbone and open up. Just a few more. And then you might take some circles, imagining, sometimes we call this the pelvic clock. So the top here, the where you're flattening your low back, that's 12, and the bottom at the pubic bone or the tailbone is 6. And we can roll around from 6 to 12 and 12 to 6, and then we can go the other direction, anti-clockwise, and we can roll back and forth. And we can also go in opposition. So as we did the pelvic rock, that's 12 and 6, and then we can do 9 and 3, back and forth from pressing one hip bone down and then the other. And then come to stillness in the center. If it feels okay, you can draw one or both knees in, hugging your knees. And again, it might feel really good to rock your pelvis a little bit here. You might circle your legs in opposition, maybe going in the other direction, or you can keep them together and make a circle like this. And again, our objective right now is to really feel the ground beneath us and begin to open up the body. So hold on to one knee and let your other foot drop down. You might lengthen that leg out along the floor or the bed, whatever your surface you're on. And then switch, draw that knee back in, bring the other foot down, maybe lengthening. And switch again. And again. And then once again, draw both knees in, maybe a little rock. And then gently place one foot down and then the other. Bring your hands down at your sides, walk your feet out a little wider, and just let your knees drop from side to side. We sometimes call this windshield wipering. That is the technical term. But you get the imagery that we are dropping our knees from side to side. You can go fast or you can really slow it down. And you can even drop your knees to one side and stay. You might turn your head in the other direction. You might bring your arms up either to shoulder height or to goddess or cactus arms. And if you work to one side, go ahead and work to the other side. And then come back through center. Once again, bring your arms down at your sides. Walk your feet a little closer to your body. Have your feet and knees about hip distance apart. And for this next part, make sure that there's nothing big, no big pillow underneath your head. Bring your arms down at your sides. And in a moment, I'll have you press into your feet and lift your hips just a little bit off the mat. So on an inhale, pressing into your feet, lift your hips up. And then slowly place them back down. We'll do that several times. Inhale, press and lift. Maybe you'll go a little higher this time, maybe not. As you exhale, lower hips down. Just a few times like this, pressing up and pressing down, lowering down, releasing. Pressing to lift and exhaling to release down. Beautiful. And finally, in this position, we're going to do a little bit of arm and head movement. Now, as I'm going to instruct you to raise your arm over your head, but if that's not a comfortable position for you, you can just bring it out to the side. And the idea is that we're going to move our arms in some kind of opposition with our heads. So, lying still, raise your left arm up or out. And then as you exhale, lower your arm and turn your head in the opposite direction, so to the right. As you inhale, this time raise your right arm up or out and bring your head back to center. As you exhale, lower your right arm, turn your head to the left. This time we'll raise both arms, head comes to center, and then exhale and lower both arms. And we'll do that again. Inhale, the right arm comes up. Exhale, we lower the right arm, head turns to the left. Inhale, the left arm comes up, head to center. Exhale, lower the left arm, turn your head to the right. Inhale, both arms come up, head to center. And exhale, lower the arms. Maybe two more times. You can stay with me or move at your own pace. Inhale, the right arm up. Exhale, lower the right arm, turn your head to the left. Inhale, left arm comes up, head to center. Lower the left arm, head turns to the right. Excuse me. Inhale, both arms up, head to center, and exhale, lower. One more time on your own. If you mess up the pattern, don't worry. Just find your way through some movement of arms and head. And the next time that your arms come down at your sides, point up, pause, that's the word, pause here. Now, I will invite you to bring something onto your abdomen. Now, I have this weighted pad here. Some of us have weighted blankets. In yoga, sometimes we actually use sandbags. But I'm going to bring this right over my abdomen. It's not very heavy, it's got a little bit of weight. You could also use a pillow or a folded blanket. It doesn't have to be something heavy. It's just the idea that this creates a sense of grounding by having something sitting on your abdomen. And I'm going to ask you to stay in place, but I'm going to move back up so that I can talk you through the next section. So stay in place, lying on your back with something on your abdomen to create that sense of comfort and grounding. It should be comfortable. If it's not, then remove it. And begin to become aware of your breath. With something on your abdomen, it can be easier to feel that sensation of breath because as you inhale, you might feel a lifting of the abdomen. As you exhale, that weight might help your abdomen to drop a little more deeply down towards the earth. Becoming aware of your breath. The body breathes without any input from us, but we can also change our breath, and that can help us move into a more relaxed state. So, feeling the earth beneath you as you exhale, sinking down into the cradle of the earth beneath you. As you inhale, imagine expanding into the atmosphere, the sky around you. Exhale, soften and let go. Inhale, open and draw in what you need. Stay with your breath for several repetitions. With each exhale, see if you can let go a little bit more through your head and neck, your shoulders, your rib cage sitting against the surface that you're on. Let your hips be heavy. Feel your feet against the ground. letting go a little bit more with each breath. In a moment, I'm going to give you a phrase. And sometimes in yoga, we use a phrase and we repeat it as a way of staying very present, right? So if you're repeating a phrase over and over again, when your mind wanders, it becomes very obvious because you've stopped repeating the phrase. And so we notice when that's happened, we notice the distraction, and then gently and lovingly return to repeating the phrase. So today we're going to work with the phrase, I am here. So as you inhale, pardon me, as you inhale, think, I am. And as you exhale, think, here. Inhaling, I am, and exhaling, here. I am here. I'm going to ask you to stay with this for several repetitions. Inhaling, I am. Exhaling, here. When you notice that you've become distracted, gently and lovingly return to the phrase, I am here. We'll stay with this for just a few more repetitions. And after your next exhale, thinking here, release this focus. Notice if you'd like to keep that weight on your abdomen or if you'd like to move it to the side. We're going to move into a longer meditation. I invite you to stay where you are. If you're comfortable, if you prefer a different position, please take the time to find that position. You might enjoy sitting up. Pardon me, you might like to bring your legs up onto, like I have my chair there, you could bring your legs onto your chair or put some pillows underneath your knees, a pillow under your head. You might cover yourself. You want to be in a position of comfort where you can expand through your spine and have an unrestricted breath. So maybe removing the weight if that feels restrictive in any way. And you want to be in a position of wakefulness. I know it sounds perhaps counterintuitive, but meditation is a wakeful practice, not a sleeping practice. Sometimes we use meditation as a way to relax so that we can sleep. But while we're in the meditation, we like to stay present. So this practice is called mindfulness meditation or vipassana. And in this meditation, the instruction is to find a focal point, something to focus on that I like to call your sacred center. And having this focus on sacred center is a way of staying in the present moment. This practice gives us tools for coping so that we can continue to do the work that we need to do for our loved ones, for our charges, for ourselves, for our community, the world. So the instruction is to sit or, whatever your posture is that you're taking, find your sacred center and stay. You might focus on breath or repeat a phrase like we just did. You might choose a gesture like taking your fingers and touching your thumb to your index, middle, ring, pinky, then maybe the other side. And you might do this quickly or you might do it slowly, one for each exhale. And you just keep repeating. You might do both at the same time. So maybe a gesture. You might do this with your eyes open, looking at a candle flame safely, a photo of a loved one, or looking outside your window. Or maybe you're outside already, focusing on a tree or a plant or flowers, the sun, not directly. Just something that you can keep your attention on. And when your mind wanders, because it will wander, just notice that. That's the first step, is noticing when your mind has wandered so that you can come back. So, calm, breath, focal point, whatever you've chosen, choose one thing, whether it's breath or a phrase or a gesture, etc. Have your focal point. Notice when your mind has wandered. It may happen 100 times in a minute. It may happen once in a while, and it's not wrong to have your mind wander. That's what happens. Our minds think. It is the practice of noticing that and coming back to whatever you've chosen to be your focal point, your sacred center. So notice and come back. It's in the noticing and the returning that we find sacred healing. So begin to soften once again, feeling the earth beneath you, allowing yourself to release into the cradle of the earth, letting go a little more with each exhale, softening a shoulder, your other shoulder, releasing through your neck and jaw, softening your face, your forehead, your eyes, releasing the skin on your scalp. Let it soften. Letting go through the middle of your body, letting your hips be heavy, your legs be heavy, feel supported, softening through your arms and hands, your feet. And then begin to identify, if you haven't already, what will be your sacred center. Practice several times with it, whether it's a phrase like I am here, focusing on breath. We've talked about many options. So choose one and begin to establish that as your focal point. I'm going to put on some music and we'll come into some silence. And I'll give you time to practice. And then I'll come back in and draw you back out at the end of the meditation. Stay with it. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes, arms and legs. Slowly roll your head from side to side. And if you are still lying down, roll to one side and pause, taking several breaths. And then press into your top hand to bring yourself up to sitting. I wanted to share a poem with you called Sacred Healing. Walking the path of sacred healing, I stop to notice Anahata, Ahava, in the cave of my heart. Holding sacred space for others to explore their echo. Weaving heartstrings together, we create a harmony of human compassion. Shalom, Om, Shanti. Sacred healing is a practice in right relationship to others, to self, to the breath of life. Walking the path, we stop to notice the songs of our heart. We breathe and sing. Let's seal our practice with one chant of Om, the sound of the universe. And if you'd like to join, bring hands together at heart center and we'll inhale. Om. Om Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Jai Bhagwan. May the light in each of us be victorious. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other. Take care.